Hey, how's it going YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about Derrick Rose potentially getting traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, there hasn't been many rumors attaching Derrick Rose trade offers, as the main person on that team is Andre Drummond, but I think it's just fair and most likely that if the Pistons are really blowing it up to the point to where they're pretty much letting Blake Griffin have a season-ending surgery, trading Andre Drummond most likely before the trade deadline, I feel like they're most likely just going to blow it completely up. And if you're going to blow a team completely up, what's the point in having Derrick Rose on your roster? So I think most likely Derrick Rose is going to get traded, and I think the Milwaukee Bucks would be one of the best trade partners for the Pistons, and the Milwaukee Bucks would be getting Derrick Rose, which would be a big deal. So I'm going to be getting into the trade package itself and why both teams would do this. And if you get mad at anything, like you don't like the trade, you think your team's getting screwed, I tried to make it as fair for both teams as I could think, or make it as possible, and make it realistic at the same time. So yeah, but without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to be getting into for the video is going to be the actual trade package itself. The trade package would be the Milwaukee Bucks would get Derrick Rose and Christian Wood, while the Detroit Pistons would be getting Arian Ilyasova and 2 second-round picks, one in 2021 and one in 2022. And now, let me explain like this trade and why I think personally that I would do it on both sides and why I think it's fair. I think it's fair because the Bucks now get a very good bench piece, plus Christian Wood, who's just kind of okay, he's a role player, like a kind of medium tier role player, maybe low tier role player, while the Pistons would be getting draft capital and, I mean, a decent role player, but it's mostly for the draft picks and to get rid of some salary. But yeah, so now let's get into details why I think the Pistons would personally want to do this themselves. The Detroit Pistons have already pretty much said, like I said earlier, they want to completely blow this team up. I mean, there have been so many trade rumors around Andre Drummond. I would be very surprised if Andre Drummond is on this team after the trade deadline this season. And maybe even a little bit before the trade deadline, he will probably be getting traded. So I think there's a very big chance he's gone. Blake Griffin's already out for the season, and they're probably going to shop him around a little bit as well, if not this season, next season. And I mean, like I said earlier, if you're going to just go full tank mode, blow up the team, completely rebuild, what is the point in having a good role player like Derrick Rose on your team? There's literally no point. You might as well get something out of him. So in return, what you would get, now you're completely blowing up the team. Your team's going to be very bad. Now you're getting as much return as you can for your team. You're probably going to get a first, maybe a couple firsts and good players for Drummond. Now you're going to get some picks for Derrick Rose. You're probably going to get something for Blake Griffin if you decide to trade him. So I mean, they're going to be able to get a whole bunch and a lot in return for their team as they're in the process of blowing it up. And I think it would be very, very beneficial for them to do it. Plus, with them getting more draft capital in these second round picks, you know, yes, they're second round picks, but there have been many gems found in the second round, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're able to find a gem, or even maybe they could use these second round picks and flip them for something even better in the future. So I mean, having draft capital is always a good thing. Also, they're going to be flipping a lot of cap space as well. Well, not a lot of it, but they will be getting more cap space, as they will be freeing up $8 million in cap space while getting 2 extra picks in the process. So I mean, you get more cap space, you get more draft capital, you get worse, which you pretty much want right now. Your team gets blown up to the point to where you want it, and I mean, you can now start from scratch and start your rebuild even quicker and have a lot of assets to work with while going into it. Now, Arian Ilyasova is pretty much just there to make the money work, because I mean, without him, you couldn't do the trade, because obviously one team would have too much money. So I mean, Arian Ilyasova, I mean, he's a decent player. He does some things good. He's a decent role player on a contending team. Won't be able to do much with the Detroit Pistons. He'll get playing time, but I mean, it won't matter. They're going to suck, especially if they get rid of Andre Drummond and all that. And now, my second thing is, why would the Milwaukee Bucks do this? The Bucks are in win now, going for the NBA Finals. They are legit Finals contenders. They have Giannis, a Finals MVP, Chris Middleton, one of the most slept-on All-Star level players in the league right now, Eric Bledsoe, not a lot of people like him, but a solid point guard, some decent depth, and I mean, some decent big men as well. They're definitely contenders, and legitimately could threaten the Lakers or the Clippers once the NBA Finals do come around. And I mean, it's not guaranteed they make the championship, but if they do make this trade, I would definitely put them as favorites in the Eastern Conference. And now you might be like, why would they want Derrick Rose? George Hill has been playing out of his mind lately. Well, first of all, George Hill right now is having the best shooting season I've seen from a 30-something-year-old player who's been in the league forever, who's always just been a decent player. This dude is shooting 50% from the three-point line. If he can keep that up all season, have it. I just have my doubts that he can somehow be a 50% shooter. That is literally unheard of. So, assuming he's going to cool off sooner or later, Derrick Rose would be a huge, huge piece to adding them. Another reason you want Rose is because we've seen Eric Bledsoe be pretty inconsistent once the playoffs do come around. So, I mean, with that happening, and with Eric Bledsoe having a chance to be inconsistent at times, if you have a backup plan, if George Hill's off, if Eric Bledsoe's inconsistent, and now you have someone who's been in the playoffs, been deep in the playoffs, in Derrick Rose, who has the experience in those situations and can play very good. And it's not like Derrick Rose is just a name. He's no longer that just, he was Derrick Rose, that's why he's on the team. No, he's a legit 6th Man of the Year contender right now, as he's currently averaging 17.5 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game, on 5.7 rebounds per game. And plus you're getting Christian Wood, so I mean, Christian Wood, he's a probably mid-tier player. He's not that bad, but I mean, he's still fairly decent, and Christian Wood would be kind of replacing the loss of power forward in Aaron Ilyasova with a lesser player, but he's still a power forward that you're going to be able to replace Ilyasova with, and he's still a solid role player you can go to if you need some minutes. So I think there's a very, very real chance that, I mean, with how good Derrick Rose has been playing, I think this is a good trade package for both sides, and I think it makes sense for both teams to want to do this. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be it for this video, so comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think this trade package works? Do you think Derrick Rose is going to trade it? What do you think both teams should do if they do trade for Derrick Rose? What do you think it would be? And if you don't think this would be the team or the trade package, comment below what trade package you want to see, or any trade rumors you want to see me make a video on. Comment all that below. And if you did like the video at any point, hit the like button and subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.